Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Idiots in a Movie podcast, episode 6. Today we'll be talking about It Follows, and I'm your host, Chris, and here with me always is...
Matt. In today's episode, we're reviewing the movie It Follows. What's the story of It Follows?
The story is about a teenager named Jay who sleeps with her new boyfriend, Hugh.
How romantic.
Yeah, and she contracts a type of STD where
it's the worst kind of STD.
Yeah, the worst kind of STD, which is essentially a fatal curse, and essentially a creature called It will walk directly at you, and when it kills you, it'll go to the person that you slept with, and then when it kills that person, it'll just go on down the line until it gets to the first person that somehow started giving it to everyone. And it's essentially, the whole movie is about Jay trying to live and get away from it.
Good job on that.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the characters?
I like the characters.
Oh, yeah, hold up first. Who is the director and who
It's
are the stars?
It's a pretty unknown cast and director. The director, he only directed one other kind of big-time movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Under the Silver Lake.
Under the Silver Lake?
Yeah. I watched the trailer last night. It doesn't actually look too bad, but...
Never heard of it.
I'm not going to watch it anytime soon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, pretty unknown director and cast, which is kind of surprising because this was kind of a big hit when it came out. So I'm surprised no one else from this movie's got any other work.
Oh, the main girl, what's her name? Micah Monroe? Is it Micah? I don't know. Maika Monroe.
Oh, yeah, Monroe.
Yeah. Micah Monroe. She actually has another movie called The Stranger, and I've seen that, and it's pretty good.
It's good. Is it another horror movie?
More of a thriller.
Shocking.
I wouldn't call it a horror movie.
Oh, look at you. A horror elite, it's right here.
I was just saying, man. You know I'm a big fan of horror movies, but I like it. I like her. She's a good actress. And in this movie, she gives a great performance. She really sells the terror and fear of whatever it is that's following her.
Yeah, being stalked by it.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good throwback horror film from the 70s and 80s. Very John Carpenter film, or at least has some vibes from his.
Is 100% a throwback to the old school slasher kind of. It's John Carpenter's style. It's very reminiscent of Halloween, and I'll get more into that, of how one of the scenes in this movie is almost a shot by shot for one of the scenes in John Carpenter's original Halloween. And I really noticed it when I watched it. When I watched it the first time, I wasn't really paying attention, but every time since then, I've noticed it, and it's a great homage to that original movie.
It has great suspense and gets you to feel not only the unknown, it gets you to feel just regular unknown, or the regular scenes that you might not be scared of in other horror movies, because it can change into anything and anyone.
Yeah, it can appear as anyone, and it'll be coming at you in a straight line.
Yeah, so
walking
anywhere that has multiple people in it, like in the back of your head, you thinking one of these is it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's great camera work and music.
Oh yeah, the score is amazing. Yeah. I love the electronic kinda-ish music. I think it's great, and it really does wonders for the movie. And then the camera work is amazing. This is a beautiful, beautiful film.
Yeah, it's shot really nice.
Yes, it is a very gorgeous film.
It's a simple but chilling concept too.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised no one had came up with this idea before.
Yeah, you think
2014.
Someone would come up with something similar.
Yeah, and it makes you fear something that is actually, is just sex. It makes you fear sex even more.
Yeah.
Like, not just, you obviously fear it somewhat from contracting a regular STD, but then when you contract an STD that
kills you,
will literally is going to have something come and kill you, it's quite frightening.
Yeah.
And the movie does a great job of portraying that as such. So, you got anything else for the non-spoiler section, Matt?
There's a good jump scares in this too.
Oh yeah, there are.
It's
I don't know. There's 2 jump scares that still always get me somewhat.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and some of them they're just really, really creepy and
horrifying.
Yeah, they're horrifying, definitely. But no, there are a couple jump scares. But like this movie, I don't even think it needed the jump scares. It has a sense of horror that it builds up throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, right when she gets it,
Yeah.
you're on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Mm-hmm. It's a real great sense of desperation of her to get away from this thing. So yeah, they did a real good job about that. Got anything else for the non-spoilers?
I think everything else I want to talk about is spoilers. Do you have anything else?
Nah, I'm good. I'm ready to get into the not spoiler section.
I got a few questions. I got a few concerns.
Okay. So before we get into this next part, if you haven't seen this movie, I highly suggest that you go watch it.
Yeah, same here. It's a really good throwback.
Yeah, it's a really good horror movie, especially if you're a fan of horror. If you haven't seen this movie,
it's an original film.
Yeah.
Just go watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
You got nothing else to do. You're stuck at home from the coronavirus. Just go watch it.
You've been warned. From here on out, spoilers. So Matt, you got some concerns/questions?
Well,
let's go ahead and you go first.
Before I go into that, I'm gonna talk about my favorite scene in this movie.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's the beach scene.
Yes, that is one of my favorites. That was something I was going to get into also.
It's my favorite scene in the movie. It's the way it builds up to it at the beginning, where you see it slowly walking behind.
Well, it's also taken the shape of one of her friends, and you don't see them on the beach, so you're like, okay, maybe it's just her friend. But then you see the shot of the ocean, and you see her friend slowly float in on a float.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it is that is behind it.
And then the next scene is Jay's hair being
pulled up
by nothing, and you go, oh.
I like that in that scene that we get to see it switches between the view of her friends, because we get to see what they see.
Yeah.
And then you also get to see what she sees with actually seeing it.
You get to see the dude that she eventually gets with at the end. You see his view of it, and then you get switched from Jay's perception. Thank you.
To his, and they switch back and forth throughout the entire scene, even when they run into the garage.
And then garage scene, when that little kid pops
out. That's one of the scenes that always gets me.
I hate that scene.
It's so creepy and so.
The kid is so creepy.
It's bone chilling. Yeah, that's one of the scenes that gets me. Since we're on the topic of that, and the other scene that gets me, and I'm pretty sure that the first time we watched this together, you said that this was a scene that also got you. When she's at home and she told her friends about it, and she goes into the kitchen and it's in the kitchen, and then she runs upstairs and hides in her room and locks the door. When they open the door and that very tall man comes,
the freakishly tall dude comes. Oh my god,
that is creepy as all get out. I don't like that scene.
I hate that. That dude's way too tall.
But hey, they did a good job of creeping us out.
Yeah, that's a really good job.
Those two scenes are yeah. And then another scene that it don't really get me because it's not as much of a jump scare, but when I forget the name of the guy that she sleeps with, her neighbor or whatever, the guy that lives across the street.
Oh yeah.
When she sleeps with him and it's after him, he's the first one in line, and his mom, it takes the form of his mom and breaks into the house, and it is knocking on his door, and then she just
looks at
Jay's
her.
character just comes in there and it just stops for a second, looks at her, and then goes back to knocking, and then as soon as he opens the door, it kills him.
And every time it looks at her, I get a chill through my spine. I'm like, oh no.
It's like you're on the list.
Yeah.
You're not next.
You're next, bitch.
But yeah, those are 3 great scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
I also like the setting. It's set in Detroit. I love the setting. It's a great setting.
I got an issue with that.
Okay.
What era is this movie set in?
I knew you would have a question about that. So I think it's not set in a particular era at all. Because you see that some people are driving new, older cars. Some people are driving new cars. One of Jay's friends has that Kindle that's like
Kindle
a clamshell.
clown.
But then you also see old box TVs in Jay's room.
Yeah, Jay has a box TV in her room. The neighbor who dies, he has like a complete new kitchen utilities in his house. The girl in the beginning of the movie, which is a great way to start this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that opening scene in a minute.
She has a cell phone and a newer model of a car.
But then
we never see
the guy that Jay sleeps with that was across the street has a newer, older model car.
Yeah, but we never see a cell phone after that. So what the hell is happening?
I think what the directors or how the filmmakers were going about this is that this whole movie, you're so uncertain about when it is coming, and I think they did this on purpose to contribute to the uncertainty of the setting.
Yeah.
I think that's why they did this, and I love it.
Yeah, it works perfectly.
Yeah, it works great because you see Jay's friend. She reads some stuff off of it all the time, off her little clamshell.
It's the idiot.
Oh,
some author, I can't remember his name.
But she reads that all the time off her clamshell. But then you also see like older technology being used alongside newer technology.
And it throws you off.
Yeah. But I mean, this whole movie kind of throws you off because they never explain what it is.
No.
And so it is very,
It never gives you an origin. Never tells you how it started or where it's been. Just that is hunting you and wants to kill you.
But yeah, I think they did that on purpose because there's a lot of mystery surrounding it, and a lot of mystery not only surrounding it, but also the setting and the time period. So I think that's why they did that. Okay, back to that opening scene. I love the opening scene.
Yeah, it's a great opening scene.
You never see what she's running from, and I think that was perfect. You just see her running.
The camera
she ran pretty good
her.
in them hills, too, because that looked hard.
Yeah, I don't know why you...
I would have jerked them things off. And then all you see is her is running and then talking to her dad, and she said, "Nothing, Dad," or whatever, and then she gets in her car and she drives to a beach. She just sits there and cries. And the next scene, you see her messed up, man. Her legs are like broke back.
Bent in a way that's not supposed to be.
Very unnatural death, but I thought it was a great opening scene.
Yeah, it's a great way to set up what the rest of the movie's going to be like.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they killed it. I get back to that, but I don't like how in the beach scene it seemed like it was pretty bulletproof, but in the final scene at the pool it just takes 2 gunshots to the head and that's it.
The pool scene is the only part of this movie I don't really like. That's the only thing that I think it stops from being a perfect movie for me. I mean, I don't mind it, but I think, like you said, I think they stop it too easily.
Yeah, it's too rushed and easy.
And I don't know why she was in the pool and they were gonna throw electronics in the pool when she was in there. That was pretty freaking. I didn't get their plan. I mean, obviously, I think they were trying to lure it in there, and she would get out,
then
and
she
then
would swim out, and then it would.
But it kind of backfired because it just started chucking the electronics in there at her, and I'm pretty sure he hit her on the head with like a TV or something.
Yeah, she got hit in the head by like a toaster or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ouch.
Yeah, but the final scene was the pool scene was the only thing I didn't like about the movie. It's the main thing I have. My main issue with the movie. Everything else I love about this movie, but that's the one thing.
You want to know a fun fact about this movie?
Sure.
Okay, so its final form at the pool scene.
I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure it was her deceased dad.
Yes. It's the deceased dad of Jay and the sisters.
Yeah, her sister. Because when she's looking at him, she
goes.
Her sister asks, "What is it?" And Jay says, "I don't want to tell you."
I don't want to tell you. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I know.
No. It's really messed up.
It is. Another scene after she contracts it, and her boyfriend or whatever, the guy that gave her it, he chloroforms her and then ties her in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I
and
really like that scene.
that's one of my favorite scenes when he's pushing her in the wheelchair, and it's like just a shot of her scared, and it's not even like she's scared of anything, it's just she's just scared of him. But I thought, oh, that was really shot. And then how he explains it, I thought that was a great way of explaining it.
Yeah, he did, that character did a really good job of explaining.
And this is just stuff that he's learned from his experience with it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very good.
I liked how if you ever got it would always be in the back of your mind that it's going to come back and get you. Even if you passed it along and that person passed it along. Yeah. It'll always be in the back of your head. It's going to come back.
Even if you just keep passing it on down the line, eventually it'll work its way down the line until it gets to you.
Yeah. So you're never really safe.
Yeah. We spoke of the similarities between It Follows and Halloween earlier, and the scene that pays the most homage to the original Halloween. I know you've never seen it. I can't believe it, Matt. Yeah, you will watch it by the end of this month. But there's a scene where Jamie Lee Curtis' character is sitting in a classroom, Laurie Strode. She's sitting in a classroom at her high school, and she looks out the window, and Michael Myers is just standing out there.
It's
the exact same scene of when Jay is sitting in the college classroom, and she looks outside, and she sees it coming. And both those scenes are great. It was a great homage to Halloween.
Good job on that one.
Yeah. It was really good. But yeah, that's the biggest homage to Halloween in this movie.
I think my biggest issue in this movie is in today's age, if it was real and was terrorizing people, I feel like there would just be a Reddit page where people would go on and say, hey, I have this, can you help me? And people would make this plan where, okay, you sleep with this person and this person, and you travel to here and sleep with this person, and you travel to here. So it would never really get anyone.
Something that I wondered about was, what if you go to like
another country?
Another country. I was wondering, like, does it just
on a plane,
or does it walk? No, it has to walk in a straight line. So I'm assuming it just walks along the floor of the ocean until it gets to you.
That's gonna be a really long time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it swims. We don't really know. We don't know much about it. So, and I thought it was great that they didn't give it a name besides it. Oh yeah, it's just it that's following you. And that was good.
What happens if it kills the very first person that got it? What happens after that? It just disappears?
Well, we don't really know much about like how it was created or whatever, so I have no clue. But I like that mystery behind.
Yeah, it's a good mystery
behind it, and like you need to really think about, well, how might have this been created, and what would it do if it got all the way to the end? I don't know. It's very interesting. There's still a lot of questions and a lot of unanswered questions that we have about it. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies.
It's one of my favorite horror movies too. It's in Midsummer, so
yeah,
we're getting a good start off good on the Spooktacular October.
Yep, starting off real good on the Spooktacular. You got anything else before we talk? I want to talk about the ending scene, but we'll save that for last. You got anything else before we hop into that?
No, I think that's it. I think I covered everything.
Okay. The last scene I want to talk about is the ending scene in the movie. I thought it'd be the best to talk about that last. I love how the ending is so ambiguous about whether it is alive or dead.
And it's following.
Because you see Jay and her guy friend, well, probably her boyfriend now, the one that she also passed it to, and you see them walking down the sidewalk holding hands, and you see something or someone falling behind them, and it's left as a mystery of whether that's
walking
it.
Straight behind them.
It's walking straight behind them, and it's left as a mystery of whether that is it or if that's just someone walking behind them. And I really like the ending.
Yeah, it's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I kind of really hope they never make a sequel.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will, because I think this is a great movie, perfect ending.
Alone.
That's all I got, Matt, and you ain't got nothing else. So give us your final thoughts on this movie.
I give this a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah. The ending, the questions about no, you know what? Yeah, it's just 7. It's just 7.
It's just a
Yeah,
7.
I'm not gonna spend a 7. It's
Okay. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh really?
I love this movie,
Oh
man.
wow.
But I'm also a big horror movie fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give it a 9
You never
out of 10.
stop talking about horror movies.
Yeah, I mean Halloween's up there with one of my favorite movies of all time, and this is very reminiscent of Halloween.
It's
so soon as the first time I watched it, I knew this is gonna be one of my favorite horror movies. So yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great horror movie, and I think one day it'll be considered like Halloween. I think it'll be considered a classic horror movie.
Maybe.
I think it will be. But yeah. Okay. You got anything else, Matt? You want to say?
So. No.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed listening. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
Follow us on Twitter at 2 Idiots in a Movie.
Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. We put out new episodes every Sunday and Wednesday. And we'll see y'all next time when we talk about Hush.